Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Ron, it's good to see you and meet you.
Yeah, right. I mean, we haven't really talked live. We talked on the phone last week,
Yeah.
and we've sent emails in the past
Hmm.
and exchanged some music,
Yeah.
and that's it.
And so here we are. You're
I
looking you're
know.
look you're looking good. You're looking good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I talked to you. I told you I had a bunch of
Yeah.
like, medical issues,
Yeah.
and then I got my COVID booster, and that got me sick, and then I was busy with. So my whole schedule for the last couple of months is just went scrumping. You know, I
Hmm.
told you that I had our place. There's still going to be work done this week.
Yeah. Yeah. How's it going?
It's going all right. You know, last weekend was it last weekend? We decided like this room, this office back there, that room
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
corner. That's
Hmm.
kind of our office. And M's at work today. She went
Hmm.
into the office today, but she's been working a lot at home since the pandemic.
Hmm.
And we just decided to paint that ourselves because it was
Okay.
just taking so long, and I know how to do that kind of work and
Yeah.
fix
Yeah.
cracks, and so I just said I'm going to do it. But you know, I did something really stupid. I fell off the ladder.
Ooh.
I know. I did the classic dum dum move where I had tarp on the floor and the ladder was not opened up. I leaned it against the wall and it
Yeah.
slid right out from under me. It was
Yeah.
embarrassing. I was fine.
I'm
Scared the
glad.
shit out of M though. It made quite a sound, as you can imagine.
I'll bet. I'll bet. So,
And
so cool. So Ron, I'm excited about this Zaz. Did you get your copy yet?
I apparently it's going to arrive today. So
Yeah.
it's a little early right now. It's probably going to be here in the afternoon, and then I will listen to it. I am excited to hear it too. You know, it's
I'm
funny.
really
I have
pleased.
not even hooked up. This is how bizarre my life has become. I've not hooked up my stereo speakers. I've been listening to music one. Finally
Hmm.
started going to the gym again with
Hmm.
these,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
actually I really like.
Yeah, sure.
And
Good.
and I've been listening to music on just a one of those little mono JBL speakers,
Yeah,
like
yeah. So,
bottle. They sound
yeah.
pretty good. They're
Well, yeah,
incredible.
sometimes for variety and just the experience, it's kind of cool to hear
Mhm.
music in differently
Sure.
like that. Yeah.
So there's that, but I'm planning to get new speakers because my listening speakers have always been these little bookshelf things. I want to get some. Now the technology's gotten
Hmm.
right that you can get a
Hmm.
speaker about yay big,
Yeah.
and it's got bass, it's got full range. You don't
It's
even need.
it's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
crazy what has
Yeah.
happened as far as that goes.
Yeah. I inherited these Tannoy speakers from my younger brother I was telling you about.
Oh, Tannoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have in
Yeah.
my for mixing in my studio. Tannoy 8.
Yeah. Good Lord. You
Same.
know? Yeah, good Lord, Great quality.
Well,
So Ron, I
yeah.
was I was refreshing myself. I hadn't played this since it
Oh,
came out.
yeah.
Man, this is good. Can you talk about this a little bit? What
Sure.
is Zokumetsu and what was the premise for everything flows on here? And it's interesting how the guitar is just one element, not necessarily the central element, it seems like.
Right.
Can you talk about this a little bit?
Yeah. Well, Robert Pepper is a Brooklyn born and raised boy. Well, he's a man, of course, but he's lived in this neighborhood his entire life. So he's a real Brooklynite. You know, I grew up in Jersey, mainly in the suburbs
Okay.
and high school. Did you hear that?
Yeah, sure
They're
did.
getting construct every couple times a year. They like to dig up our street. I kid you not. It's just like one of
Wow.
these things, and they just bulldozers come in, jackhammers. They dig up the street. There's a lot of noise. It's anyway. Back to Zokometsu. Life in Brooklyn. I live in a. This is the nicest neighborhood I've ever lived in because I'm right across the street from the park.
Yeah, I like
And
Brooklyn. I think I know where you live. I
yeah,
think the park. What's the name of that park?
Prospect Park.
Yes, yes. See, when I toured a couple times, I stayed one time in Manhattan and one time in Brooklyn, and I
Yeah.
dug the shit out of Brooklyn's vibe.
Oh, Brooklyn, man! You got to if you ever come back, you got to hang with me in Brooklyn because
Absolutely.
I just think Brooklyn is one of the greatest. We were talking a little bit about this earlier. It's like we have a really diverse in New York City in general,
Yeah.
even though it's also the land of the ultra wealthy. You
Yeah.
know, it's which I mean, it's insanely ultra wealthy,
Yes. Yes. Unbelievable.
and
Yeah.
but it's also very diverse culture. Like today, just to give you an example of how cool Brooklyn can be. A friend of mine just recently, for some reason, I got in. I'll go back to Zokometsu. I'm sorry, I'm digressing. This is what
I'm
happens.
completely expecting this. I'm
Yeah,
expecting this because I know you're a talker, Ron.
I'm having some
Just go
coffee
for it, man. Yeah, and the
early in the
coffee too.
morning. Got
Yep.
bags under my eyes. Anyway,
Yep.
um, just to tell you how cool Brooklyn is. Just recently, I got into mezcal, and you know I've been only drinking a little bit, and I've been going down these little bottles, but like a little bit. And I mean, I can't even tell you how much. Like
Mhm.
basically a shot glass worth, and that I'm good.
Sure.
But
Sure.
it's a
Yeah.
sip. No, it's not like a
Hmm.
shot. It's a sipping like a brandy or good ones,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So a friend of mine's coming over to this afternoon from Japan, who I haven't seen in a while. He's American, but he's lived in Japan,
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe 25 years.
Hmm.
Speaks the language, works there, of course. And he's not a musician, but he's seen me play in San Francisco, but he's seen me play in Japan many times. He comes to my gigs.
Nice. Hmm.
So his name's Peter. He's coming over this afternoon. Strange, just as coincidences, and busy day for me. But I said, "Hey, do you like mezcal?" He says, "I do." I said, "Listen, let's go down. If it's weather is decent, it's cloudy right now, but if the weather's decent, let's go down to Sunset Park. From here, it's going to be about 40-minute walk. It's
Hmm.
basically my neighborhood, and it gets as you get down towards that neighborhood, you go through. Well, it gets more Latino,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Recent
Yeah.
immigrants, so big
Yeah.
recent immigrants, big Mexican community,
Right.
Central American community, great
Hmm.
food,
Yeah. Yeah.
great people,
Yes. Yes.
chill, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go to some bars and we're just gonna sample like some tapas and sample some mezcals and chill out tonight.
Sounds
And
great.
but you don't have to. It's and when you do this for
Hmm.
and you also go. There's also a Chinese community down there.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
also and you cross through these layers. Now the most intense place for this in New York is Queens.
Hmm. Hmm.
Queens is. I mean, you can go from like this little Peruvian neighborhood
Hmm.
right into like an Indian neighborhood
Yes.
into like and they're just all connect and they just
Yeah.
all and then switch over and then you're in Greek
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's
and
beautiful.
it's the most amazing thing about New York. And you know
Hmm.
when I see all these people in America where we live and they're not hip to diversity and it just
Yeah.
I mean it enriches everyone's
Yeah.
life.
That's a whole
It's at the most
conversation. It
basic
is.
level, you know.
Yeah. It's a whole conversation. So you're blessed. You're blessed, And when I was in New York, I spent most of my time on the street. I
Yeah,
loved it.
that's
I loved the vibrations. I did. But yeah, but tell me about the
Brooklyn.
album. I
Well,
love it. I love it.
we digress because I'm going to walk by Robert's house. He
I
lives
love it. I
he
love it.
lives in my neighborhood.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
he's
Hmm.
lived here. I live in a neighborhood called Windsor Terrace, which is not actually a fancy sounding like its name. This was a very working class. And
Hmm.
actually, I told you our place was renovated. It's changing.
Hmm.
Our
Yeah.
neighborhood's
Yeah.
changing. And
Gentrification.
what's that?
Gentrification.
Yeah, I know. I've been part of gentrification all my life. It's like, as a musician looking for cheap rent,
Yeah.
we're like, I'd move somewhere, move into a neighborhood, maybe a Hispanic neighborhood, maybe a black neighborhood, and all I want is a place to live and work where the rent's decent.
Right.
And that's what they do. They get in a bunch of artists,
Hmm.
and then, man, I mean, you can see it change.
Yeah.
And it happens so fast.
Yeah.
And I'm not against anybody living anywhere, but when a whole neighborhood is like pushed out and
Yeah.
people
Pushed out. That's what we
pushed
don't
out,
like. Yeah.
this is I've seen it. I've seen it my entire life. It's like this shit just follows me around.
Yeah.
And I don't want it, you
You're
know?
my kind of person, Ron. You're my kind of person.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of diversity in neighborhoods is cool, and a little bit of money and business coming in is cool. So like the first coffee shop, everyone
Hmm.
loves it.
Yeah.
first like new bar,
Yeah.
everyone's cool, you know?
Yeah.
And then it just,
Just
and the
yeah.
landlords get that.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is
No
their new,
balance.
it's
No
their new
balance.
destination.
Yeah. Yeah. No balance. Yeah.
Anyway, back to Zokometsu.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Robert is a real Brooklynite, and he does a music series, and he's done many avant-garde music series here. He's an electronic musician, and he does shows of like the fringe electronics of everything
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
things with beats to noise to improvisation, and and my world has always kind of overlapped with that. I've had my foot in a couple camps, so I known him for years, and I just said to him one day, for PAC, I used to have to get on the train for about an hour, hour and a half to get to rehearsal. I said, man, I could just walk over to your house in like 10 minutes with my stuff. I don't have to get on the subway train to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how we started. We just started jamming.
Yeah. It's really very enjoyable.
We put a lot of work into the we just started playing and he would record. Just jam. And then we started building themes. And then one day after, it took us about 2 years, I was listening to like the recordings. I said, these last 2 recordings, I think we got something here.
Yeah.
Just a question of then how to assemble it. So it's mainly, he puts all the grooves together. He uses iPad a lot. Right?
Nice.
Programs on an iPad, a few boxes. He puts the grooves together, puts some, then he might have a synth on the side for lead lines. I just come over with my guitars. Sometimes I'm trying to make sounds that blend in the synth sounds. Sometimes I'm soloing.
Yeah.
And then I did the mix. No, well, he did the original mixing. Then I did the mastering and the assemblage of the crossfades.
Okay. Nice. Because it works
really,
very well.
Yeah,
And
the flow. I wanted it to flow,
Yeah. I want to also share this, that as you said, you were dabbling in those areas already before working with him, because I hear elements of that on this album,
Yeah.
from the very beginning.
Right.
The other thing I want to compliment you, Ron, is as I was listening to your work, getting ready to talk to you, you don't have a real obvious reference point in your soloing or playing it. You have your own style, and it's interesting. It sounds like you have developed a particular tone for the guitar that you like.
Yeah. I do have a certain sound with the tone that I like, and I kind of like two different varieties. One's a slightly distorted amp sound. That's why I made a bookie that I just love the natural sound. And then sometimes I like a cleaner, even direct sound for certain kind sort of styles.
Yeah.
I've got 3 guitars. I've got a Gibson Paul, which is like a budget Les Paul that I got in the 70s, 78. I've got a hybrid Strat copy Frankenstein sort of guitar that was assembled to me that I bought in the early 90s. And then recently I bought this Schecter, which is an incredible guitar.
Yeah, I've never had a chance to play one.
Oh my, they're amazing. This particular one is incredibly bright. Amazingly bright. Sometimes I have to roll it back a little.
Wow.
But yeah, and then I really think musicians, after you play your whole life, your tone comes from your fingers,
You know it. See, you know the secret. It is the fingers.
It's a
fingers. It really is.
It's the pressure. It's how hard. It's also your pick hand. I mean, you can play with your fingers. You play with a pick, and how hard you dig in. I've really lightened up. I really used to love to dig in because it's a real '70s thing.
Sure. Absolutely.
70s players used to really dig in, kind of a blues thing, and now. I mean, oh my God, the musicians, guitar players here in New York, the young guys in their 20s and 30s. I mean, technique is just
right. Yeah, it's mind blowing what people can do these days.
Mind blowing technique.
Yeah,
and they're not even well known.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And sure, maybe here in New York, I see in the metal scene, I'll see a band, and there's like 100 of us, 150 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's really, but some of the greatest players I've ever seen.
No doubt. So, Ron, you haven't been playing, but you've been doing photography, I understand.
Insane. Well, I didn't stop playing, but COVID really slowed everything down.
Hmm.
And then with Pac, our bass player Steve Blanco is
Hmm.
Imperial Triumphant. So I got hit with
Okay.
a double whammy right after our last tour in 2019 on the West Coast,
Hmm.
which was awesome tour. It was a successful tour.
Hmm.
Um, COVID hit,
Yeah.
and then his band took off. So as soon
With
as
Kenny G, right? Kenny G played with him.
unbelievable. I still haven't bought this record yet, but what I've heard on this record, it's incredible.
It is incredible. Yeah, I've heard it.
Kenny G on it, and it's good.
It is. It's wild.
It
It's
it
intense.
they're amazing. And Steve's playing. He is a trained. Well, he started as a drummer.
Mm. Hmm. Hmm.
Then he went and he studied in a conservatory in the Netherlands. He studied all jazz theory. So
Hmm.
he's a virtuoso, not maybe a virtuoso, but
Hmm.
he's a very accomplished pianist, jazz pianist. And then he started playing bass just to play in Imperial, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I met him about 2 years after that. And as soon as he really got hold of that instrument, I mean, it takes a couple of years, but then
Hmm.
he applied all his knowledge of rhythm and
Hmm.
music
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
theory that he already had. And
Hmm.
and he's also a maniac with effects boxes
Hmm. Hmm.
and really getting into them, really figuring out what they do,
Hmm.
what's the best sequence, and constantly experimenting with it.
Hmm.
For me, I'm like, put this one here, that one there. This sounds
Hmm.
good. Yeah, I'll try it for a
Hmm.
while.
Hmm.
I don't get in them deep. Some
Sure.
people,
Sure.
he gets it in. He got in
Sure.
deep.
So,
So playing with him and then but suddenly now it's not, he's just he's busy. He's not around.
yeah, right. Gotcha. Well, in a way, it sounds like that kind of naturally flows into how you have various interests, and now the photography is what you're doing.
Yeah,
And
I
yeah,
fell.
talk about yeah.
Well, I went to Goddard College at the end of the '70s, which is a small school in Vermont. A lot of art-based sort of stuff. I went to a Catholic high school, a
Mm,
very strict boys Catholic high school,
yeah,
and
yeah.
there I got
Same
my.
here.
I I didn't like it.
Horrible.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
but I must admit, for a basic, solid education,
Education, correct. Yes.
I realized what I got.
Right.
Even then, I was realizing what I was getting because I had to work so hard just to,
Yeah.
maintain a grade level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I went from that. I worked for a year, and then I found out about Goddard, Goddard is based on John Dewey's philosophies and of learn from experience.
Sure.
So I did everything. I did radio.
Hmm. Hmm.
I did studied video documentary, and I did photography, and also took some biology courses also.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
And so I was already had that in my background. Then after 2 years, I dropped out because then I decided I want to be a musician. And
Hmm.
40 some years later, here I am,
Hmm.
and not complaining. But when COVID hit, there were no gigs. So I
Hmm.
started to walking around with my GoPro, just snapping shots. Then I started putting them online. And then next thing, then I decided I wanted to get another camera, good, decent digital camera.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I was gone. And then I decided after about a year, I want to do a photo book.
There you
And
go.
it's just been growing.
Hmm.
Now it's got its own life.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
can't stop it if I want.
Right. Right. I look forward to your posts on Facebook.
Yeah, I've learned so much. I mean, I've really studied really hard. Just I've gone back. I've been studying things like design and
Hmm.
like basic art theory, and I've been going through all these masters. But other thing, finally we got new bookshelves.
Hmm.
Well, I've
Hmm.
got like a pretty extensive collection of Japanese photographers,
Okay. Okay.
and like Dario Moriyama. These guys from the Provoke School,
Mm.
which was a in the, maybe 1968, 69.
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, it's these guys. It's this stuff. Anyway, this is a re-release of this magazine, not original, of course, but this.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Yes.
And needless to say, it's great. A lot of blur, very avant-garde,
Yes.
and very
Yes.
different from European American photography.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of have to enter. Yeah. You have to kind of enter into it to get something out of it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah. You have to
well, that
interact
that
with it.
that blew my mind, and then I was gone.
Yeah.
I was a complete
Yeah.
goner. So I'm developing ideas, and I'm I've got now really strong opinions about things
Hmm. Hmm.
that aren't unique to me. But like one idea is that everyone thinks a photograph um, has some kind of truth to it, and my philosophy is that no, photographs lie,
Yeah.
or you can make them lie.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I
Yes.
want to play around with that theme a lot in what
Right.
I'm
Well, I
doing.
think I know what you mean in that you can see what you want to see in a picture.
Mm, sure. Well, you have to understand, like, let's say I take a photo of someone on the street and they look very menacing.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean that's a menacing person.
Correct.
This
Correct.
means that I took a photo of them at 250th of a second in
Yeah.
this split moment. And I'm
Hmm.
going through my photographs and I'm kind of into this mode of like aggression and lies and what does all this mean and what happens when I put that together.
Hmm.
And that's just this moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a very next moment. Sometimes I've got one. This guy, he's Asian. He looks on me in the subway. This guy looks like he's ready to rip my head off.
Hmm.
When I
Hmm.
said it, people were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" I said, "Yeah, I got a little mad." No, the truth is, the second he saw me, I clicked the photo. I looked at him. Hey, and he just immediately had this huge big smile on his face.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I mean. The
Hmm.
photo is a
Hmm.
lie, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Like you said, it's just a fleeting moment. Yes,
Right, it's a
indeed.
fleeting moment, and we
Hmm.
really don't know what's going on. Now, if it's set up with journalism, and we believe what the journalist is saying, right? And
Hmm.
they describe a scene of something that happens, and then
Hmm.
they take the photos. Well, then we know it's happened because we've been told via the written word or the
Hmm.
spoken word, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then the photo has a different meaning because we already know what the scene is about. But
Yes. Yes.
any
Yeah.
any photograph, like is the man putting on a hat or is he taking it off?
Right. Right. So you're going to shoot today?
I am charging my battery up in my phone. I've got some photographs. I've got to make some room on my computer for some photos, and I'm going to bring it down and shoot tonight and shoot today. Yeah, I like the weather's good. It's very overcast.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
like it's hard to shoot with another person. It's a,
Hmm.
like if I walk around with Emily, my significant other.
Yes. Yeah.
If I walk around with her, a lot of times I'm shooting photos, but I'm doing it very casually.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not, I can't totally immerse myself in it because,
That's understandable. Yeah.
it's you're out with someone. But
Right.
casually, yeah, I'll be shooting a couple shots, and sometimes you get something good.
Yeah.
You know.
Understood. Well, cool. Well, cool.
So I see that you have a new project coming out Friday.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
like like you, I'm always doing something, and over here it's a lot of music and a lot of sound. I do some visual stuff, but I almost every day I'm open my studio up. And so what's interesting is I was looking at some of my 2022 folders, and overall I was thinking I hadn't done much this year. I've
Mm,
been preparing my new album for next year
hmm.
based on tracks that I started in 2021.
Right.
Actually, I looked at them and I said, oh, well, there's some stuff here. So I went ahead and pulled the stuff that was most presentable because some of it I'm going to keep working on for the future. But that's what's coming out on Friday. Interlude. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The is that the artwork for the cover that you posted?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
Thank you. Yeah, that's me at home messing with the camera and a filter. Again, I love, I think like you and most of the people that I know, we just love to do stuff, be
Yeah.
creative and expressive. I can't sit around and watch sports. I
Yeah,
just,
I get it. I got sucked into baseball this year, which is a whole nother thing, but I'm glad
did you
it's over.
play? Did you play?
Well, that's the thing. I loved baseball as a
Yeah, I
kid.
used to play too. I was on teams. I played baseball. I sure
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was a catcher.
Hmm.
And when you're the
Hmm.
catcher, you're a part of every single play.
Yes.
And you're
Yes.
in, and when I see baseball, like sometimes, right here in the park is
Yes.
the Little League fields. We have them right here. Sometimes I go out and watch the kids, and sometimes, like when no one's around, I go out and walk on the infield, and I love the smell of that clay.
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
when you're a catcher, you're down in the dirt,
You're right in it. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're right in it, and it's just such it's memories. It's funny as we're getting older. You find yourself you're getting more sentimental.
Oh yeah. I won't lie
Yeah, yeah.
about it, you know.
I'm horrible, man. I'm losing it.
Isn't it interesting how you'll have memories that'll pop up? It's like it's the first time you thought of it since it happened, you know, and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
whoa, where did that come from? And it'll be sometimes it's really sweet, sometimes it's a bittersweet moment that comes back.
Hmm.
But yes, I am as age gets us, it does do that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, I saw it with my father as he got old, and I realized, oh man, I'm going down this. And then for me personally, I feel like, well, that's life. That's the way it is. I'm
Yes.
totally accepting of the whole bag. I'm fine with
Absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah,
just,
like and I don't mind my role as the old guy because I still hang out with a lot of young people. I
yeah.
just had company Sunday to give the sax player on this track,
Hmm.
James, who I
Oh yeah.
play with. He's only in his 40s, but the other part of the crew, they're in their 20s, you know, but we're all artists, you know, and so these people are very interesting, stimulating. But as an older person, my perspective, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's interesting to hear what's happening in the younger minds because it's different. It is.
Well, I try to let them go, because I know one thing I hated when I was young is to have like older people like kind of preach down to me, that kind of.
Hmm.
So like I want to hear what anyone I want to hear what they want to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
gets,
Mutual respect.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because not only that, it's some of the people can work with now. I mean, I try to work with musicians who are always better than me anyway. Your free meeting will end in 10 minutes.
Yeah, see, we have a time limit, and
Yeah.
see, because I'm not going to buy this subscription, so we should wrap this up in about 5 minutes because they'll just cut us off. Okay,
Really? Okay.
yeah, so we should start wrapping up.
For
But
some reason, I thought we had like a full hour, and they're only giving us like
that's what
we
they
have 90.
say.
Yeah.
That's what they say, but it's a lie. They cut you off in about 35 minutes.
Ah.
So my sister paid for it for the year because we Zoom every weekend,
Oh,
but it's
really?
$90, and I'm not doing that. And
No,
hell no.
no, I don't think so.
But this
So
has
let
been
me,
great.
so
And right,
let me talk to you about like YouTube. I mean, do you find YouTube? I mean, this was like your big career boost, wasn't it? I mean, as far as popularity, do you think
well,
you?
I guess from an outside point of view, it looks like that,
Yeah.
but I'm just having fun with it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure.
It really developed from me finding other record collectors showing their records, which excites me.
Hmm.
And then it just made sense that as time went on, well, I'm a musician. I
Right.
can share what I do.
Right.
And so it's been a real natural progression. I'm loving it because it's natural. I'm not all focused on business all the time. I don't want to
Right.
do that.
Right. No, I'm always been hip to what you've been doing that way. And I mean, for me, it kind of gave me a shot in the arm. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I mean, I just like, well, with this photography stuff, I am
Yeah,
going to try to find a publisher. But the bottom line is, I'm just having a blast doing this shit.
that's what it's about.
You know what I mean? It's fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll self-publish or I'll find somebody, but it's just something that it's almost, I enjoy it and I
Hmm.
enjoy creating, but it's also like, I can't help it. I don't really think I could live another way.
I heard that, Ron. I totally relate to that. Now, and what about the idea of pursuing a Japanese publisher? Have you thought about that?
Well, that's one thing I want to try to talk to my friend Peter about is coming over. Even though
Hmm.
I don't know how much he even knows about photography, but I got a lot of I've got a lot of ins, and I hope to do it. I would love to do at least one more tour of Japan. I have an
Yes.
album coming out with a singer. Her name is Ayako Kanda. We did a
Yes.
video for
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I'm familiar with her from the Threats of Your project.
Oh, is she on that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure she is. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. I've been working with her. We did two sessions, and then we also invited Tatsuya Yoshida of Ruins to play on four
Cool.
of the tracks,
Very
which really
cool.
helped. I've got to remix one track now, and we're done. And then so that'll be coming out. Maybe when that's done, I'd like to bring Pac over there. I'd like to
Hmm.
bring Pac over to Japan again and have Tatsuya play drums.
Nice. That would be awesome.
Um, but I don't know if Steve can do it. I'm also working with another bass player now
Hmm.
so Pat could actually have two bass players at the same time.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, I might work with some other people, but right lately, I mean, I haven't picked up my axe in about a month. It's crazy. I've been so focused on this photography. One of my issues is that when I focus on something, everything else fades. So
I
if
can
I'm
relate to that.
reading, then I read. If I'm listening to music, then I'm listening to
Hmm.
music. If I'm gonna work on an album, I'm doing that. It's very hard for me to do. I can do a little bit of multiple
Hmm.
things,
That's
but
all right, though.
yeah, it's just it's just
It's the way
the
you
way it
work,
happens. Yeah.
the way it works.
Mhm.
But I'm telling you, Ron, before we get cut off, let's
I'm
go ahead and
watching the
end this.
clock. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it lies because this has happened to me several times with my sister before she
Oh.
bought it. That it said we've got 5 minutes left, and all of a sudden we're cut off.
Oh. Okay.
So I'm thinking we need to go ahead and wrap this. I'd
All
love to
right.
talk again, Ron, anytime. Okay,
All
this
right,
has been
man.
great.
Yeah, I feel like we just scratched the surface. I mean, in my
Well, we
brain, I
have.
was thinking we were going to do at least an hour to
Yeah,
three.
yeah. So
And I feel frustrated now.
yeah, me too. Let's visit again really soon.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
There is much.
I guess I'm going to start up. Oh, can I just, being that you have a bigger audience than me, I'm going to start up doing some more videos because I took a huge hiatus from doing that. And
Hmm.
my channel is kind of messed up because I'll do some vinyl, but my main thing is these days photography
Yeah,
and
yeah,
maybe, so I'm just going to do what I do. I
yeah.
don't care. But
Go
if
for it.
people want to check out my photography, maybe the best place is go to Instagram. My
Hmm.
love puppy. I think I use that over on Instagram.
Okay, okay.
And same thing with the YouTube channel.
Yes,
My
yes.
lung puppy, this came out of like this. That was a concept of a joke band.
Hmm.
You do that, you make a band like silly
Sure,
things.
sure, sure.
Yeah, and I came up with my lung puppy, and I decided to use it.
It works. It works.
It's
This
so
is frustrating.
frustrating.
This is pretty frustrating to know that at any moment we could get cut off. So I'm going to say it's been great talking to you. Let's
Okay,
get together again real soon.
great.
Send me when this gets done converting. Send me the file so I can upload it.
Okay, I'll start doing that today, and I'll send you probably a Dropbox link.
Okay.
I think it's the only way I'll be able to do it, and
Okay.
then I'll get that to you. And who knows? You can put it up. We'll both put up together.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There you go. Yeah. Put it
Yeah.
on up. Great talking
Okay,
to you, Ron.
Dereck, awesome, man. Good talking
Really,
to you,
really,
buddy.
really excellent.
Yeah,
Have a good
yeah,
day. Have a good
yeah.
day.
You too. Take care
All
now.
righty. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye bye now.